In this section, let us look at how to set up ASP.NET Core development environment for Docker so that you can get ahead and develop solutions with ASP.NET Core and Docker. In order to develop ASP.NET Core applications on Docker, we need to set up the development environment with proper SDK and tools. We'll see how to prepare our development machines for creating ASP.NET Core applications on Docker. The Azure Container Services is a cloud-based container deployment and management service that supports popular open source tools and technologies for container and container orchestration. Azure Container Services makes it simple to create, configure, and manage a cluster of virtual machines that are pre-configured to run containerized applications. This section provides an introduction to AKS, Azure Container Services, and how using Azure Container Services you can maintain application portability through Kubernetes and a Docker image format. We'll see how using Visual Studio Team Services we can set up continuous delivery of a Docker-based application to a Kubernetes cluster running in Azure Container Service. Kubernetes is an open source container management platform that has been available to the Linux world for a while. With ASP.NET Core, it's now available to the .NET developers too. This section will learn how to develop a sample ASP.NET Core application on Docker and deploy that container to Kubernetes. Docker has become quite attractive for deployment, allowing applications to be pushed in a very portable way onto any server that can host containers. Now that ASP.NET Core is cross-platform, it can run on Linux, thus in a Docker container. In this video, we're going to walk through setting up the development environment for ASP.NET Core using Docker. To use ASP.NET Core and Docker in your application, the following must be installed in your system: Microsoft Visual Studio 2017, Microsoft .NET Core SDK 2.1, Docker Community Edition for Windows. Microsoft provides a free version of Visual Studio 2017 which can be downloaded from the URL https://www.visualstudio.com/downloads. The .NET Core SDK can be downloaded from the link given below. For installing Docker on your Windows workstations, you can visit the Docker store and pick up the installer and version based on your development environment configuration and operating system by visiting this URL. Docker for Windows has a stable and edge channel. Stable is the best channel to use if you want a reliable platform to work with. Stable releases track the Docker platform stable releases. The edge channel is used for experimental features. Kubernetes support is only available on the edge channel in Docker for Windows at the time of creating this course. To enable Kubernetes support, you need to switch your Docker setup to use the Edge version. Once you have the Edge version switched on, it's easy to get started with Kubernetes. Just click Enable Kubernetes and Docker for Windows will download and start the images you need. Alright, let's have a look into the development machine after we install Docker and .NET SDK 2.1 on the machine. I'm going to show how you can enable Kubernetes, and we will check the .NET version running on my machine and Docker so that you can also cross-verify with your development machine before we go further into this course. So I'm in my PowerShell command prompt, and the first thing I'm going to check is the .NET version installed on my machine, or .NET is correctly installed and configured on my machine. So I can enter the command .NET version and then press enter, and you can see that I have 2.1.4 installed on my machine. So that was one of the course requirements, that you have .NET Core 2.1 or above installed on your machine. So if you see this output, then we can ensure that .NET is correctly installed and configured on your machine. And the next thing, you can check whether Docker is properly installed and working on your machine. So you can just type Docker version, and then you'll get the output over here. And you can see that I have the build 18.04.0, and then I have the RC2 version of the build from the Edge channel running on my machine. So based on what kind of channel you choose for Windows, this is stable or Edge, you may see a different version over here. And also it depends upon what build you choose to install on your machine. I've chosen the latest build at the time of writing of this course. So you can see that it is 18.04. And if you have chosen a different version, you can see that version. But to check whether Docker is up and running correctly, you can just type in one of the Docker commands, like Docker images, for example. And then if Docker is installed properly on your machine, you can see a set of images running on your machine, which is downloaded on your machine, for example. The next thing I can show you is how to enable Kubernetes on your Docker for Windows. So if Docker is installed on your machine, you can see Docker is running from your taskbar, and right click on that one and go to settings.
And here you can see that what version you're running. So at the bottom of it, if I'm running Edge version, but if you're running a stable version, then you can see it's running a stable version. And to enable Kubernetes, you have to switch to the Edge version. So if you're running stable version, then you can click on this link and choose to switch to the Edge version, and then Docker will download the latest build from the Edge channel and install in the machine, and it will restart it after that. Once it's restarted, you can see a new tab over here on the left side, Kubernetes. So if you click on that one, and then you have to check this checkbox of enabling Kubernetes on your Docker for Windows. So once you have installed the Edge channel, you can see this particular option. And if you click this checkbox, Kubernetes will install on your machine, and then it will start running. So after Kubernetes is properly configured, you can see Kubernetes is running from your Docker settings window on the left side pane on the bottom. So that's how you install and configure Kubernetes on Docker for Windows.